Hi, Lynnetta.
Hi.
You said you wanted to talk to me about some issues that were going on with you and your team. Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So, in my role, I manage a group of individuals who are managing our employee resource groups, which are all volunteer roles. And recently, I was working on a project where I was rolling out an allyship program for the company. And in doing so, we built a team because we want a representation across all of our diversity elements. So we picked people from each of our employee resource groups to be a part of our what we call a Tiger team. It's basically joining in, committing to working on the project. And so in doing so, there's a team of about 9 total to work on delivering this rollout of this project within a couple months. Divided up into 3 different tracks. People working on finding our insights, so really going back and pulsing the company as to why the need for the project in the first place, or the program. A team working on building out an actual microsite, so the deliverable that'll be there at the end result based on the insights that we're finding. And also a team building the education, so finding the actual content that will go on the site that we're delivering out. So in doing so, set direct project plan and timelines in place and got the commitment from the team that everybody was in agreement and ready to go to work. When it came time to actually execute, though, it didn't happen. So the people who actually volunteered for the role, although they built out the plan as to how they were going to go about finding the insights, they just didn't do it. And so we needed it. And so it ended up falling on myself as a project manager and 2 other people that were leading the initiative to kind of get in there ourselves and just do it as we had this timeline that we were working towards. And the rest of the tracks were dependent on that first element of finding out why the need was there in the first place. And so in doing so, went out there, found the insights ourselves, delivered it, the content, but then there became this disconnect between us as leading the project and our Tiger team. Because now we've delivered upon a product that our Tiger team doesn't know much about because they didn't really live up to their commitment and actually do the work.
So there are two problems. One is they didn't do it, but then the second problem is even though you did it to cover up for the first problem, now there's a disconnect and
Yeah.
they can't own it or they can't speak to it because it wasn't really their effort,
Exactly.
and yet they are the team that has to represent it.
Exactly.
I can see why you're not very happy with this
Yeah.
situation. So what would you like? I mean, if you were going to learn something or do something to improve this or something like this, if we did a replay of the exam of this case, what would you like to learn to do different?
I think a couple things. I think one in myself is being able to hold them accountable for what they're
Yes,
saying
yes,
they said they were
yes.
going to do. I feel like there's probably on my end I could have done a better job of holding the people accountable for what they said they were going to do, but also having that open communication with each of them to where they can come through and tell me
Yes,
if they didn't have the bandwidth or if they were running into any issues.
exactly.
Just being open about that.
Yes.
So maybe building that relationship with them to have that.
Thank you. Well, I like that you are taking responsibility because it would be easy to blame them,
Right.
and it would be deserved. So there's some blame that
Yeah.
can fall into them. But by blaming them, you would disempower yourself because
Right.
they will do whatever they do, and the thing is, how can you deal with it?
Exactly.
Because you can't count on them doing or other people doing what you expect them to do. Sometimes yes, but when they don't, how do you hold them accountable?
Right.
I'd love to help you with that.
I'd appreciate it.
So let's start with the first step of the conversation, because the interesting thing is that in order to hold people accountable, you need to get a strong commitment from them.
Right.
So getting the commitment in a clear way is the key to then be able to hold them accountable.
Okay.
And much of the difficulty in accountability comes because the original commitment is not very solid.
Right.
I don't know this because you haven't described too much. So I'd like to
Yeah.
get an experiential feel for the initial conversation. So just imagine I'm a member of the Tiger team. I said, yeah, I'm willing to help.
Yeah.
And now we're having the first meeting. So get my commitment. When you said, yeah, we made the project plan and we got the commitments, and so I'd like to get like almost dramatically, meaning as if in theater. Tell me in first person, ask me, and I'll respond, and we'll play it out. That way, I understand how was that conversation.
Sure.
Okay. So Fred, call me Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm excited about the project. I'd
Yeah.
like to help.
Yeah. So great, Fred. Thank you for being like super excited for this project. It's going to be an amazing project that we're rolling out for the company. So what's needed from you on the team? So we're approaching it in multiple ways. We're approaching the project by going into insights, education, and a microsite. So what my ask is that you represent your employee resource group, so your element of diversity, and joining our Tiger team to provide that insight to the project. And in doing so, join one of these tracks. So whether you're working on insights, the microsite, or education,
Yes.
to commit to doing that. We do have a timeline that we're stretched up against, so we need to deliver our product by August.
Okay. Yeah, I like the insights track.
Okay, great. So there'll be a smaller team of 3 of you working on insights. And so I ask that you meet as a team to develop a plan as to how you're going to develop those insights and bring it back to us, leading the project, so myself and my 2 colleagues here, and deliver upon us on how you're going to do that so we can get agreement, and then you can go off and actually gather the insights.
Okay.
Awesome. Great. Well, looking forward to seeing your proposal next week in our meeting.
Next week.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't get that.
Okay. I see.
So let's pause.
Yes.
You didn't give me a time.
I did not.
Yes, but now you fixed that.
Yes.
That was pretty good, by the way. It was quite clear.
Yeah.
But without the time, I was going to use that to
Give it whenever
escape.
you wanted
I mean,
to. Yes.
then it's like, well, I'm working on it,
Yes.
and and then you would say, well, but we need it. It's like, yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
But now when you say by next week,
Yeah.
so let me play it.
Okay.
Oh, but you need by next week?
Yes, we do need this by next week in order to meet our timeline for mid-August.
Then maybe I don't think I can do it by next week. I have a terrible week.
Okay. I wouldn't even know how to respond besides, okay, well, thank you for being honest that you wouldn't have the time to commit to it by next week. Unfortunately, we do need it to be delivered upon by next week. So we'd have to find somebody else to work on that during that timeline.
So you want me to still be part of the team?
I do want you to
need
still be part of the
excuse me?
team. Not excusing you. You do still want you to be part of the team, and you can still help out in that area, as well as one of the other areas. So this is a team effort, so we can all pitch into insights, microsites, education. So by all means,
Very
yes.
good, very good. I mean, that's actually a very good conversation. It's quite tight.
Yeah.
And the person has to say yes or no. But the problem was people said yes.
Yeah.
And did they come back after in the next week and give you the plan and all that? Did they fulfill that commitment?
So they did bring a plan back. However, it wasn't what the ask was of the plan. So they gave a plan for the overarching project versus a plan really focused in on how you're going to go gather insights.
Okay.
And so we had to send them out to go do it again, basically. So set us back a week.
Okay, let's do that conversation.
Okay.
So I brought you the plan. We brought you the plan. Now tell me what happened.
So thank you for your plan. Looking at it, it looks like the approach was taken of looking at the entire project versus focusing in on insights. So let's take a step back and redefine what we're looking for in the insights portion of the project. So we went over that, basically, of what that was. And so now that we know that, my ask is to go back out, develop a plan of how you're going to specifically gather insights and bring that back to me by next week.
And people said yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask them about the misunderstanding with the original request?
So interesting. So we actually had the conversation on the larger call with the entire team on it. And so spoke up like, I got it. Yeah, we're going to go off and have this conversation. So then I got the side email of saying, we're lost. Like, we don't know what the ask is. So then I met with them as a smaller team and clarified what the ask
So the
was.
3 people that were in Insights, even the second time, they said yes, and then they called you back and said, we're lost.
Correct.
We said yes, but we don't know what we said yes
Exactly.
to. That's really funny.
Yeah.
And that's really real, because most people do that.
Yeah.
So even when people say yes, you can't be sure that
They fully
they're
got
committing, because they would be embarrassed to say, I don't understand.
it. Exactly.
Okay. I mean, this is very good. I have to say, you are managing this conversation at a very high level, like really very proficiently.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge to manage the conversation with people that are taxing you, because this is especially taxing. So there are a couple things you can do that are sophisticated, but when you are in a difficult place like this, they might make a difference.
Okay.
So let's do it reverse. I'll be you, and you be the other group, and I'll ask. So Lynnetta, thank you for participating in this effort. And you said you wanted to be part of the Insights team?
Correct. Yeah.
So my request would be for you and your colleagues to meet this week, and by Friday next week, to bring a plan on how you are going to gather the insights. Is that acceptable to you?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay. Thank you. I would pause there.
Okay.
Then the next Friday, when you bring the plan about the whole project, I say, I'm a little surprised, because my understanding last Friday was we agreed that in the week you guys would prepare a plan for gathering insights. This is a general plan for the whole project. So something went wrong. I'd like to check. Did you understand that it was for insights?
I did. However, I thought this was, like, I thought my project, or thought my plan showed that. So I'm confused maybe on...
You think this plan is just for gathering insights?
Well, maybe I'm confused on the ask then, because I did think so, that this plan showed that these insights. So maybe I'm not sure what insights we're looking for.
Okay. So yeah, we do have a confusion here, and I realize. So what I would like to do now is show you a model, an example of what a plan for insights looks like, and we do it together as a mock-up. So then you and the other people understand exactly what the ask is, because I see you try to do what you understood, but what you understood was different than what I was trying to communicate, and you couldn't know because you did you did what you thought. But I would like this conversation to finish with all of us on the same page.
Sounds good.
Okay. So that's one thing I would do. The first time, it's almost impossible to avoid that kind of problem the first time, because you think they understood, they think they understood. So this is not, there's no problem in a sense of people defaulting. They might have thought, honestly, they understood, and it turns out they didn't, but they didn't know they didn't understand. The real problem, or at least the one I see is more significant, is that then after they had the plan, they didn't deliver the plan.
Yep.
So let's just say we have a plan, and you went off,
Approved it.
I thought you were going to deliver the plan, and now you come back. What happened? So just play them out. So Lynnetta, what happened? 3 weeks ago, we talked about this, and you guys had a plan, and you said you would execute and bring the insights, and
yeah, I didn't have the time, I guess, to do so. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I literally blocked off time for people to gather insights by tomorrow, so I'll update the document by tomorrow and deliver that.
So, well, I have a worry that this was a 3-week project, and I don't see how you can do it in a day. and I don't see how you would do it with the other people in one day when in 3 weeks. But I mean, that's a secondary thing. What really surprises me is you knew last week. When did you know you wouldn't finish on time?
Probably knew at least a week ago, looking at my calendar, that it was a bit packed.
Yeah. Why didn't you call me?
I thought I could get it done.
You just say you couldn't.
I thought I was gonna find a way.
Okay. And when did you stop thinking you were going to find a way? I mean, 5 minutes ago you
Yeah.
knew. 5 minutes ago you knew you wouldn't deliver. My guess is yesterday you knew you wouldn't deliver.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 days ago. Like, you tell me, when was it that you stopped thinking that you could deliver?
Yes, I knew. I knew a couple weeks ago that it'd be
A couple
hard.
of weeks ago.
It'd be hard for me to commit. It'd be
No,
hard for me to
no.
complete it.
When were you sure that you wouldn't deliver? Now we're not talking hard. We're
Yeah.
talking like absolutely, positively not feasible.
Say earlier this week.
Okay. So let me focus my question in that moment. Why didn't you call me then? Because I was trusting that you would bring it.
I don't know. I just didn't.
But you see what the implications of that are, because when you do that, it makes me worried about trusting that you would do it tomorrow or anytime. But it's not because you couldn't do it. It's because you didn't alert me about the fact that you wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
And you misled me to believe that this was on track when it wasn't.
Right.
By omission. You didn't lie to me, but you didn't correct what you knew was an error of my thinking.
That's true.
I'd like not to do that together. You know, I want to trust you, and I want you to trust me, and you know, shit happens.
Right.
So you know, things are gonna happen in different ways than we expect them.
Yeah.
We have to be. That's cool. So I know, you know, things go crazy, but if things go crazy, would you let me know?
Yeah. I can do that.
Okay, let's pause.
Okay.
How do you feel in this exchange? Now I put you in the
Yeah.
hot seat, but what am I doing that's different than what you did?
You're one, holding me accountable for what I said I was going to do, and not letting me get out of making excuses for why I didn't do it.
That's true, but I haven't really focused on the excuse.
Yeah.
I focus more on the reliability of
Right.
your word.
Yeah.
You see how that is
That's
it's
very
difficult to
different.
escape that. Let me show you
Okay.
what I would do if I made a promise to you.
Yep.
And I couldn't do it, and I want you as Lynnetta. Let's just say I'm Fred, and I said I was going to participate in the Insights group. I'm going to default on my promise,
Okay.
but I'll do it honorably.
Okay.
Because I have this theory that there's performance and there's integrity. And these are separate tracks. It is possible to maintain integrity even when I can't perform.
Got it.
So I'd like to see and then get the feedback from you how you feel with a person being like that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm a member of the team.
Yep.
And I call you, Lynnetta. I'm really sorry. I need to talk to you and make an apology.
What's going on, Fred?
Well, you know, I told you that in 3 weeks I was going to deliver these insights to you with the team. My boss just called me, and we have an urgent project that is going to take half of my time that was unscheduled. And I mean, I just hung up. And the first thing I thought is like, oh my God, I won't be able to do the insights, and it's just crushing. But I like to know, so first I want to apologize because I know I made the commitment. And I'd like to know how this affects you and how it affects the team. And I like to participate within my limits and try to take care of the mess I'm making because I realize I'm defaulting on my commitment. So how would this affect you if I couldn't participate in the team for the next 3 weeks? I can do stuff after, but the first portion, I need to cancel my commitment. I need to renegotiate it.
Well, first, thank you for telling me that you won't be able to deliver as we agreed upon. I appreciate that. I know it's something that you really wanted to work on, so I appreciate you taking the time out to let me know. we can regroup. We'll find a way to get the insights done, and by all means, like there's still ways that you can plug in and help out. Once we gather the insights, we'll need to actually put it together and package it up, and then be able to decipher it. So there's still things that can happen after 3 weeks.
Yes.
So I definitely want to keep you involved in the project.
Okay. I mean, what I can commit to do is to stay informed.
Okay.
So if you have someone else working with the team with insights, I can't do 5 hours a week, but I can certainly do one.
Okay.
And if these people are, if the team is participating, because I need to stay informed and stay connected so we don't have this disconnect after.
Yeah.
But, well, thank you. You're very gracious accepting my apology. And I didn't know. I mean, this was totally unexpected. When I made the promise, I didn't know about this. Happy to hear you understand. And this doesn't diminish my commitment to the project.
Not at all. Things come up, fully understandable. So we'll get somebody else to help out pulling up, but we'll definitely find a way for you to plug in still as well that works within your time limits.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do you feel? I mean, what?
I didn't feel abandoned in that situation, where I feel like in the other scenario, without having any communications, I was left scrambling, trying to figure out how to, at the last minute, build a plan to still be able to deliver. Where in this case, although yes, we still don't have that work completed necessarily the way it was agreed upon, I feel like I can go into it prepared and not overwhelmed with the fact that I'm now scrambling to get to a
You see, that's the difference between integrity. I'm trustworthy. After that, you can't trust that I will always do what I say,
right.
But you can trust that I'm not going to let you down without telling you.
Exactly.
That if something happens, because that's what I'm doing. So that's what I mean by reliability and the integrity of my word, that it's always there. And I try to tell people that, look, if you can't do it, don't surprise the other person.
Right.
It doesn't take that much. It's just being open and showing your face and not abandoning. I love your word, because it's not abandoning the other person and saying, you matter to me and my word matters. I told you I was going to do something. The least I can do is show up and explain. So what did I do? I acknowledged my commitment. I explained to you an unforeseeable reason to change my commitment. It wasn't like, well, I always had a very complicated calendar and I failed to realize. No. I gave you a good promise, but something unexpected happened.
Right.
I asked you how it affected you and how we could stay related or minimize the damage that I was going to create by defaulting on my commitment. And I made a new commitment to do my best to stay connected. So 4 things that are, I mean, when you think about it, they're obvious.
Yeah.
When is the last time someone did that with you?
Oh, wow.
I mean, never. I mean, isn't it incredible, these 4 things? But, the funny thing is, have you done that with other people?
That's literally where I was going with that.
Are there opportunities where you
definitely
know that some commitment is in jeopardy, and it doesn't have to be sure, but some commitment is in jeopardy, and you're trying desperately to make it, when the truth is there's enough risk that you could call the person and say, look, here's the risk. I may be able to do it, but maybe not. I want to acknowledge my commitment. I apologize. I want to renegotiate with you and minimize any damage that a delay might cause you.
Definitely.
Or any consequences.
Yeah.
Do you have any chance to do that?
Yes, I do. I could think of a few right now
Yes.
that I have in the past.
But you see how it strengthens the relationship. It's crazy, but there's a metaphor I use that is really sweet. If you break a bone and the bone fuses well, then under the same stress, it will break elsewhere.
Right.
Because the part that fused is like stronger than it was originally. And sometimes I think of a broken commitment like that if I can't do what I said I was going to do, but I take care of it and we heal the relationship, then our relationship is stronger.
Right.
Because we can't count on the fact that we're always going to do what we say we're going to do. As we say, unexpected things happen, and people are gracious. I feel gracious, and you acted very graciously.
Yeah.
But then, I know I can trust you. I know you're not going to surprise me.
Right.
Even if something goes wrong and you can't do or you fail to do, as soon as you know, you will let me know and you will take care of me.
Exactly.
And that is so precious because so very few people do it. So it's a chance to really create a different culture of relationship, both by holding people to account, but by also holding yourself accountable to not surprise other people.
Right. Yeah. In that last example, I can truly say, like, coming out of it, I wouldn't have any concerns working with you.
Exactly. Yes.
So.
Whereas the people that let you down and they didn't do anything, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
When are you going to do the same thing next time?
Exactly.
You know, you tell me something. So by holding them accountable, you're also teaching them, and that's to lose the fear that, oh, you know, I'm just being harsh and I'm being mean. No, it's not mean. It's really educating them that they're destroying their own trustworthiness. They're looking flaky by not honoring their word and not apologizing. That's true for all of us. I would look flaky, or you would look flaky. Yep. So it's very important that the moral authority to hold people accountable comes from your commitment to not let anybody down. Because otherwise, you see, it's asymmetric. You can't demand that people honor their commitments to you, and then you give yourself a free pass, like, well, you know, I'm really busy. But when the people tell you they're really busy, you say, I don't like that. Right. So it's the same standard. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that was really a good conversation.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I appreciate the chance to reflect on this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.